and rolling, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to give the intro instead of doing it on live. I'll do it on the podcast. Like
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Do I do it? Do I do the welcome?
Do the welcome first.
Okay, cool.
And then I'll go ahead and run into that. And
yeah, let's do it. I haven't done it that way before.
Yeah,
let's try it.
It's all new.
Everything new every day.
We're all guinea pigs.
Yeah, we all love to have fun. All right, here we go. We're rocking and rolling to record.
No regrets.
That yeah, there you go. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Boom.
Man, yeah, I feel like he's been wanting to say that for a while.
Oh man, I see you guys every day.
He's been training.
I got it.
He is. Well, we are excited as hell to have Mr. Javier Feria
what up, guys?
on the show today.
Isn't that a cool last name, though?
It is such
Feria,
a cool last name.
Feria. Trying to live up to it now, you know? You have to do it.
It's perfect. But big man coming over to us from GG Homes. So we're really excited to hear about everything he's got to tell us. Lots of experience in home flipping. So those of you who are interested in flipping some homes, listen and learn, man. Shut up and sit down.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right, but before we get to that, we got some little marketing stuff. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, starting on Monday, this is actually going to air... I want to say it's going to air on Tuesday, so it's going to be after the event. But those of you who are on Facebook Live, on Monday, we're doing a collaborative marketing workshop, and that's going to be on the 25th at 6 p.m. over off Kettner Boulevard at Little Italy's loading dock. Remember, if you're an insurance agent, you get 4 hours of CE. If you're not an insurance agent, show up. Network with insurance agents, tax professionals, other people in other industries who could send you referrals, because that's what it's about. So make sure you guys show up. Normally it would be $50, but when you go to insuranceblockchain.center/collaboration, which we'll put in the show notes, if you go there, use the promo code BIZBROS, BIZBROS, you're going to get it for $10. Okay, $10, and you get a meal. And don't quote me on it, but I heard you get your first drink on us. All right, whoop, whoop. So make sure you guys check it out. Go network, and plus we got a great speaker. Miss Christine Gritman is going to be there, social media strategist, coach, and entrepreneur. So make sure you guys go out there, check it out, and we'll see you on Monday live. All right, let's do some friend shout outs, dude. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this social media thing is kicking some butt.
Blowing up.
It's blowing up. So I promised each and every one of these people I sent a video message to. So I said, hey, welcome to the business. Thank you for being a friend request. Check us out on iTunes. By the way, if you're on Facebook, take a second, go to iTunes, subscribe to our podcast. It helps us reach more of an audience. And if you're new, if you're just watching because somebody shared it with you and you do become a friend, then I will give you a shout out on the show too. So we got Lynn Leitner. We got Jason Pham, we got Shika Singh, we got Keitha Roberts, we got Danielle Porter, Finn McGill, Michael Gardner, Diana Flora, Frank Fata, Tommy Love, Mariana Carrillo, and you know what? I'm going to stop right there because there's a lot, so we got to spread these out to a couple.
There's too many.
There is.
But you know what?
I'm going to keep going. Rhonda Jane Nelson, thank you. Patrick Hale, Mark Hinneman, Donna Bree, Antonio Genovese, Michelle Gruden. I gotta throw this one out there. Michelle Gruden's part of the Dean Aguilar group. She's new to the to us, and she has a line that's so awesome. Holy cannoli!
Holy cannoli!
I saw that on a video and I just thought of Batman. Holy cannoli, Batman! Rutherford Loans, you quote Fish Koi, Susan SP House, who's with SP Housekeepers, Tori Meister, Akram Shata, Beach Hut Deli, Mr. Jeff and Miss Hillary Whittington, Alex Dole, Summer Q, Mike Tetrialt, Synergy One Lending, Justin Sands, Capital Rise Investments, and Tom Karatz. Holy moly, that's a lot of people.
A lot.
So, hey guys, we really appreciate the love, and like I said, I'll make sure to keep it a promise. You guys will be on the show. I'll give you a shout out. If any of you, by the way, are interested in being on the show, just like my boy Javier here, hit me up, hernan@csfirst.com. And 2 credits for Soul Deals. Angel Hernandez, the taco guy, Mr. Famoso himself, closing another deal.
Nice.
And Jamal Johnson with his number 4 this month.
Oh, dang.
Number 4.
In a month?
In a month.
Wow.
Killing it.
Wow. Doing more than what a lot of real estate agents do in a year. Great job, Jamal.
All right, guys, let's get to today's program with Gigi Holmes and Javier.
Sir.
Money Man.
Feria.
Gotta live up to it.
Gotta live up to it. So what's up, brother? Thanks again for being on the show, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking to be on there, right?
It's something different. It's a big step on my behalf.
Right, but the business bros help loosen up the nerves a little bit.
Right, of course.
All right, cool. All right, tell me a little bit about yourself. When did you get into the industry? How long you been doing it? Where'd you come from?
Oh man, so a little about myself. Well, I was born and raised in Escondido, just North County. Long time resident, and then from there, just about 3 years ago, to be honest, I was on unemployment. I was doing residential solar before all this happened. But, my thing was I had an eye for real estate. I kind of started catching on to the patterns of, the way the market works and stuff like that. 2013, 2014, started catching on a little more. And that's when we bought our first property in regards to housing and stuff like that. And at that point, it kind of opened up my eyes, just dealing with the agent, making a phone call and just really connecting, seeing what's going on. First property was a short sale that we bought, and then it just stayed at that. And that kind of really opened up my eyes. Before all that happened, life was different out there compared to.
But you got into sales, solar sales, right? I mean,
that's what kind of opened me up, because before all that, so you have sales in regards to, you're knocking on the door like, hey, you want to buy solar?
Yeah.
Have you thought about, downgrading your bill? Other thing is pretty much you coming after, you're the crew that installs it and stuff like that. So pretty much no matter what, you're always dealing with customer service.
Yep.
So that's what kind of like loosened me up, and you're like, you know what? This
I
ain't
can
that
do
bad.
this.
Yeah,
I
this
can
ain't
do
that
this.
bad. And that, honestly, that was my biggest push. My biggest jump. I started hitting the books. I started pretty much just studying YouTube videos. Thank God of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, and it just started going like that, man. It's my thing was, I was moving up in the company and back and forth, but I feel like I hit my max, my peak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person that if I'm not excelling, I feel like I'm not growing.
If you're stuck, right?
Yeah. And I hate being in one place.
Dude.
And at that point where I just started I'm gonna do this. Well, other people are doubting, pretty much saying, oh, you can't do this and stuff like that. That's just my motivation. A lot of people, that to me, it's carries me a long way, because
haters gonna hate, dude.
Haters
gonna hate.
But no matter what, that's pretty much what we're encouraging, because I'm pretty much the first one from my family. My parents they're immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Came over here. I'm the first generation to pretty much do anything. So at that point, to me, it was a big step, and I know at this point, ain't no going back.
No, you got to taste.
Yes.
You got to taste, and once you got to taste, there is no going back.
Yeah,
but that's cool, dude. First generation. I mean, my dad's American, but my mom, she did immigrate, and it's one of those things where, I mean, in our culture, Mexican culture, right? Mm-hmm. I knew growing up that I had to at least do as good as my parents. Right, my goal is always to do better, but I couldn't do any worse than them. I had to be at least at that level.
Right.
And now I'm setting the bar much higher, right? And so my goal is that my kids kind of get that instilled in them, that they got to do at least my level, if not whatever they want to do. You know, I don't care how they do it, in which level they do it, as long as they excel at, and it doesn't have to be measured in dollars, just at the level of success at whatever it is that you're going to do, right? So tell me a little bit what that's like, being first generation in your family, coming over here. Like, what was the expectation like? What was life like for you getting started?
Well, to be honest, the first 10 years of my life, pretty much, I grew up in kind of like the outskirts of Escondido, and more like in a trailer, like 15-acre land, man. The thing was crazy. And so I feel like I was isolated away from the city life. By the time pretty much I turned 10, I was about 5th grade, and when I moved to like more central Escondido, at that point, that's when I got a taste of life. I started getting exposed to all these different things, neighborhoods, different stuff. And, as a kid growing up, not being around other individuals and stuff like that, playing soccer, running around like what a typical kid does. At that point, I just started, socializing, making friends. And then as a youth, pretty much 5th grade came along. I went to middle school. Middle school pretty much got introduced to, the typical lifestyle of Escondido. And at that point, life started really moving on for me, in a positive and a negative way. But to me, I'm kind of glad I went through all those experiences, because as a youth, to be honest, I was in and out of jail. And after that, I started moving on. As after an adult, I was kind of still stuck in that phase. But it just, to me, life is really important, and I've been in different scenarios, different situations where it kind of makes you look at life different.
Yeah.
And at that point, once I had my son, that to me was the biggest life changer, because I kind of realized, you gotta look at yourself. You really have to look at yourself in the mirror every day, and pretty much tell yourself, are you happy with what you're doing, and are you happy with who you're becoming? And at that point, that was my biggest motivation in regards to, like, this really, is this the life that I want for my son? And then at that point, I just kind of realized, like, there's more to this, and I gotta find a way. And I just I found a way.
So tell me, like, when you're getting in trouble, right, doing things you're not supposed to do, there's an excitement to that part of life, right? There's a reason why you're drawn to that. Like, what was drawing you there? And then, what snapped in your head one day that's like, this isn't for me?
Yeah. Well, the excitement to me was, it's pretty much, you don't know what's going to happen. Especially the moment you walk out that door, you ain't know if you're coming back. But more than anything, the times, the experiences, everything behind it, that's the excitement behind it, the unknown, because every corner you take, it can lead to a different path. And at that point, it just, man, there's just so much to it. During that time, I actually tried to join the military, and I got denied for specific reasons. And then from there, I'm like, what? I tried, to go different avenues, and my way was like, nobody was opening the doors for me. I felt as I was growing up, and I just kept knocking. And then eventually, I pretty much started going to school for what do you call it? Solar. Mm-hmm. And I kind of transitioned to that level. My license was suspended. I used to ride a Sprinter from Esco to Oside, like 3 times a week for like a couple months straight. And then, during that process, I'm telling you, man, every process that I ever try to accomplish, people always doubted, just because of my personality, my lifestyle. Who I am today, man, is something completely different than what I used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
proud
should
to say
be.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, life's been moving forward in regards to that. But that to me was exciting. What made me realize that, it's pretty much being put in positions where it's kind of like, wow, this is, you're looking at specific things, and there's other people where I was in their shoes, they were in my shoes, and some people I haven't got to see in years.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's like near and dear to my heart. I got family that's gone through that kind of lifestyle, that's gone through stuff, and we always hope that things change, or they have a better optimistic view of life or something. But at the same time, doors keep getting slammed in their face, right? Mm-hmm. The moment they try to step up just a little bit, change just a little bit, there's something blocking them.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I'm trying to dig with you a little bit more. It's you got doors slammed in your face, you got opportunities closed right in front of you.
Yeah.
What's in you? What makes you a little bit different to keep persevering to find something? Because that's tough, man.
Yeah, it really is. You're kind of like on your own out here, to be honest. I feel everything that your circle comes a lot to it, mm-hmm. to what you listen to, your circle you surround yourself with. If you're not around positivity, you're gonna be around negativity. And I felt that pretty much was kind of what aligned me, in regards to what do you want to do, who do you want to become. But I felt the whole avenue to that was just something completely different. I feel I got to create positivity, because if not, you're surrounded in just what you know. And you just gotta, I started networking. I just started, just for example, just saying hello to someone versus just kind of walking by and not acknowledging them. Yeah, everybody's, it's a human being. We're an individual, and we're all here in this place. A lot of people, play the lotto, hope to win, but in reality, we already won the lotto by being here.
Right.
So it's just your perspective, and how you look at things.
So did you have to unplug yourself from where you used to be, like literally not hang out with the people you used to hang out with, start trying to hang out with new people?
Yeah, more than anything, it's just pretty much, just watch your circle, keep your circle small. But more than anything, it's the people that want to grow with you are the people that you want to take with you. Yeah. Versus the ones that kind of want to stay behind and still stuck in that same lifestyle and really not bringing value to each other. That's kind of some people got to move on. So that's pretty much what got to me. So now I feel like a lot of people support me. A lot of people kind of like they praise that, because not too many people where I come from kind of done what I've done and what I'm continuing to do.
Yeah, no, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge, dude, to be able to step out of where you were coming from. Because trust me, dude, there's so many people. I had a buddy of mine, Brian Landeros, the Energy. Have you heard? Have you seen him with Mortgage Heroes?
Yeah.
Energy. So I had him come to speak to my classroom because he graduated from the same high school that I teach at. He came and talked to him, and he said something that I thought was really profound. And he's like, one of these days, dude, you got to realize that life keeps going forward, and if you keep doing what you're doing today, life's going to pass you by.
Yes.
And that's one of those things that you got to look in the mirror and say, dude, I don't want to be in the same spot that I am right now in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years. So I got to make a change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm hearing you say. You like at one point you decided, dude, you guys are the homies. It's cool. We have history, but I don't want to be right here in 5 years, in 10 years.
Yep.
And that's a big step, dude, because there's really a lot of boys that like, I mean, I talk to, I know personally that it's a lot of pride and ego, especially in machismo, and that we have in our culture. Like, you don't walk away from that. Yeah. Right. But you did, and you were able to make something of it. So what did you do? And, you know, when did you start seeing, you know, a little more success in what you were doing?
Yeah. So pretty much, I feel like everything that I was doing was pretty much was being denied, and I kept progressing in regards to like doing research. You know, what can I accomplish? What can I, at least within my means? Like I said, nobody in our circle was really helping us out. You know, how to succeed, how to progress. If anything, they were holding us down. So, you know, I've started attending networking events, just reaching out just to people that I see out there in the community. You know, doing bigger things, better things. You know, people that used to have similar lifestyles to us and stuff like that. So that kind of made me realize, we're like, you know what, there is a way. You know, if they could do it, I could do it. And, you know, that's pretty much what was my gateway in regards to, you know, moving forward. 2011, I had my son. 2012, I got out the gang junction. 2013, and that same year I got put on with the solar, Vivint Solar back in the days. And then, yeah, they were the first office to open up in San Diego. I got put on, was one of the first 2 crews to set it up. And ever since then, they've been here. And then, so what I like to do is I like to document my life, you know, because I like to see how much am I progressing? Am I progressing, or am I going down, or am I being steady? Yeah. You know, and
you do that by like journaling, like writing stuff down?
By journaling. You know, I feel it's like, you know, whatever you have in the mind, sometimes we have to write it down, and we have to really visualize to understand it. Yeah. You know, and then from there, because, you know, they're two different thoughts. You know, if you think about it, you know, from what you think into what you put down on paper. And then
when you reflect at that point, right? When you go back and look, it's what you were thinking that time and what you wrote down and how you read it later. Yeah, are different things. And then that to me is really what hits me, because I spend a lot of me time, you know, in regards to, you know, what I do, what I got to do next and stuff like that. You know, when I go out to socialize, because I'm a socialite. But aside to that, most of the time I'm pretty much riding solo in regards to the things I do, because that's just how I train myself. You know, you can't really depend on nobody to accomplish a specific thing that you want in life. And then it just, at that point, I had my mindset, you know, because back then, like you said, it was ego, pride, and stuff like that. But once you get to the point where you have a better understanding of yourself, and you know what you want, and like you said, you have a time frame of what you want to accomplish, and you slowly see yourself progressing towards that. That was the biggest takeaway, you know. So that makes all the difference in the world, and it's kind of a blessing in disguise too. I mean, you had people laugh at your face. You had people, you know, like step up to you. You had people like tell you yes, tell you no. You've had all kinds of things happen to you that now when you knock on a door or when you pick up the phone, it's nothing.
Nope.
Right?
Yep.
It's just
been there, done that. Exactly. It's like, what's next?
Yeah, you've gone through the really bad stuff, so you almost have a competitive advantage over people who get into the industry who've never had to deal with any type of rejection at all, much less confrontation. Right? Yeah. So, you know, when you pick up the phone, it's no problem. When did you decide to, like, I mean, some people go the regular real estate route, which is representation. You went into flipping and pocket listing type. Yeah, you know, it's a completely different business. What was that like? When did you decide to do that?
That to me, so after what do you call it? So during, like I said, 3 years ago, I was on an deployment, and that little phase, I was already kind of like networking. I was working with a little small time investor, which I ended up getting burned by. Yeah, I lost 10 grand on that deal, and I was like, wow. At the end, that I just kept applying that experience, what he taught me. And I remember I had two opportunities. One with Pintar Vertical Real Estate, when they were still around, and then from there, GG Homes. Pretty much they were two candidates where I reached out to and they responded. And at the end, I had interviews with both of them, and GG Homes is the one that took me in. They put me under the wing, and at that point, it was a blessing to my life, because honestly, they changed the generations ahead, because now I'm learning what the industry is about, and not too many people get that experience. So yeah, my main thing is I applied. They pretty much didn't respond. But I'm type persistent. I'm a persistent person. If I want something, I know I want it. I'm gonna get it until I get it. And there ain't no stopping. And eventually that's what happened. And they put me on, and ever since then it was a life changing. But in regards to how the whole process works, I went 8 months, man, without my first deal. Because obviously, with being in real estate, it's a sales game and stuff like that. Your commission only. It's scary. It's scary because you don't really know what you're gonna get yourself into. When are you gonna get paid? When's your next etc. and stuff like that. But I had my mindset, and you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna give up until I get it. And I remember to this day, my first deal 8 months later was 571 G Street in Chula Vista. I was like, wow, and ever since then, that's pretty much what just turned my fire on, and I just kept going. And
that was a spark you needed.
Yes, it was. And at that point, started networking, learning more about the business, and the funny thing to me was just networking with somebody like you, because that to me was like really back then there was really like no human interaction, everything just phone calls, emails, stuff like that. But now to take the big step and just starting to network with somebody and kind of put a face to somebody and just kind of like shake hands, that's the route that I'm aiming towards, because that I feel it brings more value to somebody once you get to meet them in person.
So you're not that the phone doesn't work, you're just trying to build powerful relationships on top of the phone calls, right?
Correct.
So it's all in the
and
same.
that's all new to me, but it's something that I've always been about in just in different ways. And now that I'm pushing towards that, I feel like that's really starting to benefit the business.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it really takes you a long way,
because you actually have friends that care about your success.
Yeah, and honestly,
want to refer to you.
Yeah, and I made a lot of good friends through this business, and that to me, it's the circle is growing, and positivity, and that to me has been a great experience.
So tell me a little bit about GG Homes. What do you guys do? I know, like every so often, I get a list of, hey, we got open houses, and who wants to host an open house? And we talked to Courtney the other day, and she was telling us, you want to get in this business as a kick-ass real estate agent? Do 30 open houses in 30 days.
Yeah.
And you guys have lists of open houses. So tell me a little bit about GG Homes and what can agents do to get involved in these open houses?
Okay. So pretty much the way GG Homes works, we're a pretty big buyer here in the county. One of the top producers, and when it comes to buying, selling, flipping, and stuff like that. When it comes to open houses, we're constantly hosting open houses from, it could be a traditional sale that we just picked up, or it could be from our sister branch, the Honest Agent team, or it could be from one of our actual flips, which could be a fully renovated property anywhere in the county, anywhere from Chula to Oside. And the way it works is pretty much any agent that's curious to host an open house, they pretty much, you have to send an email out to us, and then from there we add you to a specific list that's getting blasted out either, if not every day, it's weekly. And then on top of that, we also have a coming soon list from properties that we recently acquired, properties that are currently on the market, coming soon under punch lists and different stages. So right now what we're starting to do is starting to bring value to buyers out there, pretty much, that are curious to know about properties that haven't even hit the market. And so at the end, people start, already knowing about it, getting ready for it. And that has actually been working out for a lot of agents.
So look, there's a couple things that come to mind when I think of GG Homes. One is, like I just said right now, is hosting those open houses, right? The other thing is, lately there's been a huge push by companies like Zillow, for example, doing instant offer programs, right? Which is essentially what GG Homes is doing. And there's a lot of agents who are upset about, Zillow's cutting into our business, or maybe they're going to be too competitive, or my seller doesn't want to do anything because they're waiting for an instant offer.
Yeah.
My argument to that is always the same thing. Why don't you, Mr. Agent, have an instant offer program? Why don't you hook up with a company like GG Homes so that when you go to your listing appointment, you come ready to prepared to present as a listing agent.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you're interested, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's an offer ready to go.
Yep.
If you're looking to close at any time, right? Will they take that offer every time? No, but you're coming in with the competitive advantage of being a good listing agent, and on top of that, you have your own iBuyer program. What do you say to
It's a numbers game. Like it's definitely a numbers game every day. Every time when you come across a property, it's different. Location, value, what's condition like. In regards to Zillow, Redfin, Redfin, they already launched that program. Pretty much offering cash. At the end, they actually got burned on a lot of deals because they were doing properties sight unseen and stuff like that. They just had a lot of money to play with. They're backed by the right people.
Yep.
And then so with Zillow kind of transitioning, they're being more of the data company. That to me, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play out because Redfin got to do it, and then it's like being smart dogs. You watch other people play, and then you see how you learn from their mistakes.
Right.
And so I'm curious to see. But no matter what, as an agent, yes, it's always valuable to bring to your client cash offer at hand and a listing presentation, because no matter what, you want to bring options. You always want to have an option for somebody,
right,
and make yourself more valuable versus just kind of like, let me help you sell your house,
but
it still works no matter what.
Absolutely. That's the thing about a listing appointment. If you're walking out of a listing appointment and you don't have the signature, is because there's an objection you didn't answer, whether you knew you didn't have to answer it, or you didn't ask the right questions, or they didn't have the right question to answer. There's an objection there that you didn't answer, and that's why you're not walking away with the deal. One of those could be, I heard I can get an all cash offer, right? They might not, the seller might not tell you that, but they could be thinking that. So if you have that information there, by the way, if you want to get this done right away, here's a cash offer, that's to go. But a lot of agents are afraid to say, here's a cash offer, because they don't know where that cash offer, who's going to be the buyer, right? That's where GG Homes could come in and help.
Yes, sir.
Right. So how do you normally partner with an agent? So let's say I'm an agent and I have this deal that somebody wants a cash offer. How does that work with us? So
it's pretty simple, to be honest. The way it works, let's say, for example, so-and-so reaches out, and at the end they're like, hey, Javi, I just came across this appointment, or I just prospecting, or referral, whatever way it might be, to generate leads. But the way it would work is, you reach out to me or whoever, and pretty much letting me know, it's like, hey, this is there's always a story behind the property. What's going on? Is it vacant? Was it an eviction? It could be whatever. But the way it would work out, once you're comfortable enough to either disclose an address, assuming you don't have a listing agreement already executed, it's every agent's call, obviously. At that point, really all we need is an address to kind of do our research. Who owns it? What's the story behind it?
Any liens,
conditions, liens, etc., code violations. Because there's people where they bought stuff without doing their research and they got burned. But going back to it, it's once as simple as sending an address. Within less than 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, you pretty much get a response in regards to a cash offer. And it's simple, once I pretty much express a verbal offer, whether it's a range or an exact number, obviously depending on location, it could vary, but I try to build rapport with you. It's like, hey, so what's the seller situation? How much is the seller really hoping to get for it? What's the condition like? Is there anything major? You want to take really all
the more notes you can get from the agent themselves, the more accurate a number you can give them.
Of course. And then at that point, let's say I do my due diligence and I get back to you, assuming I'm not busy. I'll get back to you within 30 minutes or so. And the way it would work out, it's if I express that number to you, if you tell me like, hey, Javi, you know what, I think this is a number we can make work, then from there I'll schedule my contractor either that same day or the following day or whatever day they're available, assuming the property is vacant. If it's not vacant, we'll work with the tenant schedule or the seller schedule, and then at that point I'll go view it. And then if it's something where it's like, it's what we anticipated, then from there I'm solid on my number. And if it's something that, came sight unseen, where it's like, well, we didn't predict this, you weren't aware of this, obviously we got to play ball. But at that point, it's simple, it's here's a number. Once we go view it, we don't have to go back and forth, like, other investors and stuff like that. But, it's once we secure a number, you're comfortable with it, then from there you write it up. And
so we represent you as the buyer.
Correct. Yeah, you get the double win deal, and then from there, even if you don't even have a listing, let's say for example, you have Mr. Seller doesn't want to pay commission, but it's a deal. He's actually on board of selling. He just doesn't want to pay those typical fees. So we could actually do it for sale by owner, and we can still take care of you for bringing us a deal, whether it's up front, on the back end, and stuff like that, which as long as we continue that business growing.
So there's a good reason, right? Because there's a lot of stuff right now on social media, because we got partners that do amazing staging jobs, right?
Yes.
Amazing video work, right? So Visionary Media, right? Creative House Productions. So they do amazing work on beautiful new done homes, but that's the end product. We could come in and get the ugly one and hit you guys up, and even if we don't represent, because they might not represent, we can still get a referral fee. Is that what you're saying?
If it's not on the market, let's say for example, you're the homeowner and you do want to sell, you just don't want to pay the 5-6% commission.
Yeah, because I want to net as much as I can.
So let's say for example, you tell me, hey Javi, the seller doesn't want to pay commission, but he does want to sell. This is a number, etc. Tell me how much you're willing to pay, whatever the situation might be. Then at that point, I tell you like, hey, Hernan, this is how much we're willing to pay for it, and then we'll pretty much willing to cut you a side check if we close on it. Or if not, we pretty much, if we can get a sweet ass deal, which we've done in the past, we'll cut you in the check up front, and on the back end, we'll have you list it. Yeah, and some people love that, because they don't have to put it on the market. Everything was done, behind door scenes, and then from there, that's where the real deal is happening. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. There's a number of ways that you can close a deal, even if you don't know exactly. It's a matter of picking up the phone. It's a matter of getting to know these different individuals, these different companies that are doing business in different, more creative ways. There's some deeper pockets out there to help you get some flips done, to help your client achieve what they need to achieve. Maybe they're in a situation where they need to get out of the home, they need to sell, but the home is not in a condition to get top dollar. Doesn't mean you can't have a sale. Yep. Right? Just means you need to find a way to make it happen. That's what GG Homes is here for.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
I was going to ask you guys also work with other investors?
Yeah, we're willing to consider that. If it just really depends on the actual deal, how we want to JV it.
Just curious. So any other investors that might want to partner up and work together? It's all about just bringing value to different groups of people.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're willing about just to get creative. You just kind of, what's the situation? How can we make it work? And we're all about making it work.
Perfect. All right, Javier. So look into the camera here. How do people get a hold of you if they want to work with GG Homes, or maybe they want to get on that email list?
Yeah. Well, if anybody curious, regardless whether they want a cash offer, get on the email list for our open houses or our coming soon list, email me at feriarealestate1@gmail.com. So it's going to be F as in Frank, ERIA, real estate altogether, the number 1@gmail.com. That would be the best way to get at me.
Perfect. Yeah. And that'll help them get on the email list. That'll help them get in contact with you if you have some deal that they need to square away, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Perfect. All right. And then your number's right there, right? You can point down at the screen.
Right at the bottom.
There you go. That's your number right there. Hit them up. All right. And then lastly, who do you think would be a good guest to be on the podcast?
Good guest to be on the podcast? Next. You know what? I think possibly Phil Green.
Phil Green.
Yeah, he used to be kind of the owner of the company and kind of get an idea of what's the mind of GG Homes.
All right, dude, for sure. Yeah. So we're gonna hold you to it. We're gonna have you guys you tag us,
to make it happen,
and hook us up, and then see if we can make it happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Just a reminder, because I should have done this at the beginning, but I forgot. 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year that we want to give away to the homeless. So make sure you guys hit James up for that. James@csfirst.com, 619-884-0045. He can also handle all your insurance needs. Real estate agents, brokerage offices, tax offices. If you're looking for another way to generate some revenue and you think insurance might work for the clients that you have in your book, hit us up. James@csfirst.com, 619-884-0045. You want to be on the podcast? Let me know. Hernan@csfirst.com, or call me, text me. That's cool. 619-884-4915 is my number. You can follow us on our social @BusinessBrosPod. That's all we got for you guys today. Javier,
thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show, man. Great story. Thanks for being vulnerable. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
That's all we got for you guys today.
Care,
peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out. Thanks, Facebook.
We love you guys.
Thank you for everybody.
We're on that one over there now.
Oh, thanks, Facebook. Yep. We love you.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo.
Wow.
That was bad, huh?
Man, that was badass, bro.
See?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad. You know why? Because the story's about you.
Yeah, right?
That's exactly. I mean, dude, everything.